I was going to launch a new show this week, but my cameras got stolen. So I'm recording this on the only camera I have remaining, and I had a great conversation. I recorded an episode with my friend Jeffrey Graff and Caleb Carter. I want you to tune into this. Don't miss this. It's going to be special. I don't want you to miss it. Hey y'all, I am so excited to be here. You know, these are some interesting circumstances. I have one camera. That was never the plan. I was going to launch this show later the next coming week, but some unfortunate things happened. My gear got stolen, but here we are. I was like, you know what? Let's just make the devil pay. Let's speak to some people. Let's help some people and bring some encouragement. And I'm here with Jeffrey Graff, who just did an amazing job at ORU's homecoming, and Caleb Carter, the marketing genius, the man who always has the plan and knows how to make it work. Hey, we're here. This is a wild moment, but why not go for it? And you know what I'm saying, G.
Let's do it. That's what I'm saying.
Let's do it. We out here. So, how y'all feeling? It's 2025. We're getting to the end of the year. It's been a fast-going year. How y'all feeling?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling good. It has been a fast-moving year, but you know what? God's good. I'm feeling good. I've been enjoying it. I've had a new addition to my family recently.
Yeah.
My daughter, Sunday. And so I've just been trying to enjoy that.
Your daughter's name is Sunday?
Yeah, Sunday.
That's
Carter.
so tough. And
yeah.
it's so transformation.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? I just love it. But yeah, baby Sunday, been doing that, and then helping to build things at TC. Yeah, life's been good.
Yeah.
And Jeffrey, you're building a lot of things.
Woo!
You have I call it the pastor trifecta: a book, a baby, and a church.
Yes, sir. All in the last year. They've been going good. Would not recommend doing this on a normal basis, but it's good every once in a while, and God's been better to us than we imagined. Low key, I am totally down to have another kid already. It's the coolest thing ever.
You heard it here first.
I don't know if I'll get a name as cool as Sunday, but we'll try.
You have to go for it.
Probably something very plain, like
or
Wednesday.
Tuesday. Go on Tuesday.
Hey, Wednesday's kind of in right now because of that show.
Yeah.
What show?
Isn't it called Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday.
Oh, I haven't heard of it.
And that's her name,
wild.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wednesday.
Oh, that's
Sunday
powerful.
Sunday tough, bro. I should have asked that earlier. So anyway, we all three went to ORU.
We did.
And we were at the gathering place. We ran into each other. And Davon was like, all my stuff got stolen, which is sad. But the only reason we're smiling is because we had a good conversation. Been chilling, has some disgusting fries. But they're
You know why I'm smiling?
Why?
Because I know we serve a good God.
Come on.
And in His Word, it says the thief even has to pay 7 times what he stole. It has to be returned.
Yes.
And I'm smiling because we can't let how we feel, how we approach things be so circumstantial.
For sure.
So I'm just like, hey, we're going to keep moving. Life goes on, and we're still going to help some people. I believe that this show has been a God dream in my heart for months. I've been building in the background, and this was going to be launch week. And it still is going to be, because we're going to launch this episode, and I believe that what God has intended outside of time, He finds a way for it to come to fruition. So I just see it as a sign of how needed it is. So I'm glad to be here. I'm glad y'all are both here. And Jeffrey, you know, you kind of gave this special word, might I add, in chapel. I mean, the place was electric. It was roaring. I wonder if Bixby had a noise complaint for ORU's chapel yesterday.
I'd be wow. That's a new goal. That's a new goal of mine.
But hey,
yeah, man.
Tell us a little bit, because I love the heart of what you said. Coming against cynicism, coming against negativity, coming against having, a nasty approach, and just it all comes back to our expectation, what we're believing, and what we can receive.
Right. Well, all three of us kind of work in ministry spaces. You at Daystar, me at a church, you at a church. And one thing it's so easy to do and see, a lot of times in church, you're not going to find people who are like necessarily doing like the craziest, most outlandish like sins in the world, right? But I think there's a sneaky sin called cynicism that kind of sets in, because it makes you think like, oh no, I'm just critiquing things and I'm making things better. But ultimately, like, a lot of times there's a fine line between critiquing things and making things better and having a hard heart that doesn't really want to be changed. It just wants to be right. And I just Ditto are you, because there's so many times, like the main thought, right, was cynicism looks right, but it stops you from receiving. And I mean, you could probably speak to this in your own life, but also in like people that you led. Everybody has their own opinion. Everybody has all these things, and no one way of doing things is perfect. But since when did something need to be perfect for you to receive from it?
Wow, that is such a word, Jeff. I mean, even just being, so I work at a Transformation Church, right? And I've seen so many times when, just as people get into, you know, the church world or get into the church where they let the cynicism take over to the point where they can't even receive from a pastor anymore. And it's
Right.
like, do you not see, sometimes it's hard because it's like, I get why we get cynical, but it's also like, God is doing something in this ministry.
Yeah.
And we are all broken, imperfect people. Like, the church is a hospital. It's not a place of perfectionism.
Right.
And it's just so cool that in ministry and even working in it, we get to be the ones to, as best we can, advance the gospel forward.
100%.
And we do it imperfectly. We're not going to always get it right. We're not going to always be perfect. But like, it is so important to remind ourselves of the why of why we're in here, of why we get to do this, why we get to be a part of ministry. It's a beautiful thing.
I think there's a lot of rhetoric that happens, but when our rhetoric becomes a reality, it's hard to accept it. You kind of talked about that yesterday. You're like, yeah, you know, God uses imperfect people, but when someone's imperfect and he wants to use them, it's like, oh, whoa.
Yeah. Never mind.
That's a little
He
much.
uses the people with the imperfections that I like. Like, no, he uses them with everybody's imperfection,
Yeah.
including yours. And so, I don't know, man. It's easy to grow cynical, though. The whole thing was from Sarah. She laughed when God had a promise. She's like, oh, okay, like, gonna have a kid, whatever. And if you look at why she was cynical, it was all very logical reasons. God shut her womb. How are you gonna promise me a child and shut my womb? And then, like, her husband slept with some other dude. Of course, she felt unloved, unworthy, and unlucky.
He's of another girl.
Huh?
He's of another woman.
What'd I
Not
say?
a dude. You said a dude.
Yeah, see, and you'll cancel me for saying that.
But I won't.
But in the Message Bible, just kidding.
It depends on the translation.
Yeah. But anyway, is this still going?
It is still going.
Okay. Yeah, like, she had logical reason to be cynical, but at the end of the day, like, just because you have a logical reason still doesn't mean it's the best route for your life. And it's just like, you could be right about facts, but ultimately still wrong in your heart at the same time. And that's the thing that's like, you just need discernment on it. I'm not saying that everybody's got a, you know, an example I used, and I hear this all the time, and it just bugs me. People are like, well, there's just no room for the Holy Spirit to move anymore in worship sets. It needs to be spontaneous. And it's like, how far do you want to take that? Like, because if you play a song spontaneously, can I still complain that the song had too much structure? You still went to the chorus and the verse. Like, why don't we just play random chords? Like, at the end of the day, it's not because there's a problem with the structure. There's a problem with your spirit inside that you don't want to receive. That's my soapbox. I'm sorry.
I love it. You're basically coming at this critical approach to things head on. And like you said,
about it.
you're being critical about criticism. Wow, Jeffrey. Wow. But yeah, I mean, I think we're in a special time. I think God is moving, and I think that, you know, we all have the opportunity to be faithful where we are. We all have the opportunity to make a change where we are and to be a blessing. And one thing I think about, and I think this might speak to a lot of people, is no matter where you are in life, things are always subject to change. But not just externally, you're always subject to change. If you're in a position where, you know, you're not being consistent, or you're not showing up, or you're not locked in, you can lock in right now, and you yourself are subject to change. And it's like, how can you just keep winning and doing the same thing over and over and, you know, working your land, you know?
I actually heard Pastor Mike say something on a podcast that was so good the other day. He was like, one of the reasons it's called Transformation Church is because this time next year, I will be different.
Yeah.
And I am going to change. And I think cynicism kind of keeps you from changing because it stops you from receiving.
It does. You have to realize it's like, you are always, Pastor Mike also says this, it's about progression, not perfection.
Yeah.
And the progress, the process of progress can be messy, but like, it's not going to be this perfect, I'm the same thing every single time, and then that's who I am forever. It's like, no, a relationship with Jesus causes you to consistently also when you maybe make a mistake or sin in the sense of where you misstep or turn in a wrong way, it's like, okay, God correct me, and I'm going to turn back towards the right way. So it's always going to be changing. But if God is moving and the Spirit is moving, like in a ministry, it's like, be thankful that the Lord is there and that He's moving.
100%.
Like, as long as things in the ministry are going on that are not outright completely against what the Bible is saying, and the Spirit is moving in the church, that's what we should be supporting. That's what we should be about. I've been in small churches, I've been in big churches, I've been in churches where the worship is one way every single time, and some where Holy Spirit takes over and then it's a 4-hour worship session. The Lord's moving in all of those cases. And we've got to not get caught up in the way we think. It's really pride.
100%. 100%.
Like cynicism, all that, it gets rooted back in pride in the way that we think it should go. But we're not God. It's not, we don't get to determine what God decides to do with His people.
And that's kind of the point I was trying to make, is cynicism sees what's imperfect and it magnifies it, but in doing that, it minimizes what God can do in imperfection.
Yes.
And that's the problem with it.
Because anything in the hands of God is subject for Him to apply His power, His change, His grace, His ability. We got to take the limits off of God. You know what I mean? Like, I truly believe that. So, as we were prepping for today, after, of course, my things were stolen, I told myself, I gotta crack this joke. You have this uncle, and he has this phrase where he says, I'm all. Instead of I'm going to, he'll say like, I'm all, you know, like the little accent. So, I'm like, you know, I don't care what happened. I don't care what might be missing. I'm on. Show up and do this show with Jeffrey and Caleb, and we're having good. I told myself I have to crack that.
You have to.
I had to put it out there.
Bro. That was a pretty good impression.
I'm on. I don't think it was that good. I don't even think you think it was that good.
I'm gonna keep pressing on.
Yeah. But one thing I love about you both is I watched you both when I was younger, even before I was at ORU. I was aware of who both of you were, and you guys went through times of development where maybe you weren't as publicly seen or publicly, you know, people weren't, you know, consuming of your life and the fruit of what you did. You were just kind of serving and doing what you did. So tell me about your progression and how you got to where you are today, and what lessons did y'all truly learn that, like, hey, like, I wish this younger version of me was told this, as opposed to, you know, living without.
You got it first, brother.
Man, I don't know. There's a verse I've been meditating on a lot. Basically, like, commit your work to the Lord. And it's weird if you translate it like exactly. He basically says, commit your works to the Lord, and your thoughts will be established. And like, commit your works, like the term works is literally like the achievements and aspirations and pretty much the end result. Just throw all that to the Lord and don't really care about it. And I genuinely am getting to a place in my life where it's like, Eden asked me the other day, like, hey, what if this and this and this all went right and blah, 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 just some dreams we have. And we were walking around a lake pushing Jack, and I said, honestly, if it does, cool. If it doesn't, cool. Because either way, I'm going to be doing exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm just going to be loving my family, loving life. And so I think there's a place to, you got to get to in your own heart, contentment-wise, where it's like, if I'm seen, if I'm not, if I'm doing what I'm doing for God, I really don't care. I really don't. Because if I can't be joyful till that happens, I'm not living Christianity. I just made my dream my idol. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to make a dream an idol. I'm happy where I am. I look at the Apostle Paul. He's like, man, in prison, when I'm free, when I'm well fed, when I'm hungry, whatever happened, I learned the secret to contentment. I can do all things through Christ. And that's where I want to be. So I think if I could tell my younger self, especially like when I was at ORU, I really did. I had all these dreams and I wanted to make sure they came true and chase them. And that's cool to an extent. But it's not cool if it like drives your life. It's cool like, hey, God, I'm going to not bury my talents. I'm going to do this. And if you come through on it, like, here's the thing. After I put it in your hands, the 5 loaves, the 2 fish, you do with it what you want. But all I do is put it in your hand. And I know your will is for me to have joy at all times. So if Overflow has 100 people, I'm going to be happy.
And Overflow is your church.
Overflow is my church. If it has 100 people, man, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be with my kid, my wife. We're going to walk around the lake, talk, laugh. has 10,000. I'm gonna be doing the same thing. So I'm just gonna be happy now, and also I'm gonna let my joy be a sign that my aspirations are not an idol.
Yes.
Because a lot of time, if you need something to be happy, pause, because there's normally where your idol's at. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
That's so good. Man, that's so good.
I feel like in a very similar vein, Jeff, we went to ORU together, us two, man, and the thing I realized is, like, I was so driven by my desire to do things for God, and it was really through having kids that helped me. I always would.
That's kind of
I
real.
could say it and feel it, but then when I had kids, it's like I actually realized it for myself.
Yeah.
Which is, doing things for God is not the same as spending time with God.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just like doing things for your kids is not the same as
Yep.
spending time with your kids. And I've just realized, like, as I'm going to continue to do what God's called me to do, right? I'm going to be obedient. I'm going to try and build His ministries the best I can.
Yeah.
And ultimately, if success is going to vary, I don't know. That's up to the Lord, and that's up to where I'm going to do my best, but
Yeah. I'm
still called to spend time with Him.
Yeah.
I'm still called to spend time with my family. That is my first ministry.
Yeah.
And that is the greatest example of Jesus' love I could ever say. So the thing, honestly, I would tell my earlier self is, don't just get so focused on building things for God that you don't forget to spend time with Him.
Yeah.
Spend time in prayer. Spend time seeking Him, and spend time with your family, man. That's really the thing that God doesn't do things outside of people and relationships.
Yeah.
And the ones He puts in your life, you have to value and treasure.
Absolutely.
And so I've just learned that, to treasure with everything that's in me.
Bro, you kind of like hit on something. I didn't even have time to preach on it. I just didn't have time.
Yeah.
But basically, I was talking about how Sarah, God's promise to her, if you read it carefully, it wasn't even just to have a kid. It was also like to restore a marriage and like help her. And I started to think about how, like, I think Sarah would have been content to, like, all right, God, like, let's do this, let's have the kid.
Yeah.
It would have happened, but still, like, the marriage and, like, her, like, all the pain she was carrying inside wouldn't have gotten healed. And God kind of convicted me and was like, there's so many people that are willing to be used by me, and it's a greater priority to them than actually being healed by me. And, like, God doesn't necessarily want to use people and not heal them.
Yeah.
But I think there's a ton of, ministers, not even just Christians, ministers, that and the devil's so sneaky, their desire to be used by God, he'll elevate it to an idol, so they'll walk around hurt and about to make a mistake, and at the end of the day, they'd never really realized God's greater priority wasn't to use them as to love them.
Yeah.
God can use whoever He wants. God can get as much done on the earth. Speaking of being a good husband, my wife is calling me, and
So we wrap it up?
can I call you in like 2 minutes? Literally 2 minutes.
Are we en route to make sure we get back?
Yeah. We're headed back to the gathering place right now. All right, love you. Bye.
Yeah, we should flip it.
We'll flip it. We'll flip it right now.
Yeah, dude. No, it's so good because it's like, I think about that a lot. Like, God can use many people to accomplish His work.
Yes.
And He doesn't have to use you. He might have gifted you to do things, but, like, He could use someone else.
100%.
Like, it talks about a rock will cry out to worship Him if you do.
Yeah.
Ultimately, God will get the glory for the works that He wants to do on His earth.
Yeah.
But if you're not doing it in a way, it's like, if I lead thousands of people to Christ, and yet my marriage is in shambles.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Ooh.
Come on. What's the point? It's not. One does not have to come at the cost of another. In fact, the Bible teaches that's upside down of what Jesus came to set in order. It's like, no, it's the little things. It's honoring your wife and all the things that you do. Like, how should you treat her? As Jesus treated the church, which He died for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that comes before some of the other stuff that we love and praise God for, but it's not the highest priority.
Yeah.
The fruit flows out of your connection, your intimacy with Him, but you can't just aim just to do good works in and of themselves, but it should flow out of what you have with the Father.
Yeah.
That's good, gentlemen. I love that. to just hang out for a little bit, but this has been great. We've been going about 20 minutes. We're so glad that you could tune in, and I think that this is just the perfect way in the midst of literally the gear required to even record this show on a consistent basis, being stolen, right?
Yep.
What better thing to do than to just take some moments, do what we already planned to do, add another special guest, Caleb Carter, shout out to Caleb, and just help some people, because that's the heart of this. That's the fruit. We want to help people, and my heart is to just be a blessing to this show and to bring people into powerful conversations and things that they can take with them. So thank you for tuning in, and stay tuned for more.
Shout out to my man here, under-resourced, making it happen.
Wow.
Just doing what he can with what he has. So shout out to you, brother.
Jesus.
Excited for what God's going to do through you and through this show.
I receive it, and I'm thankful for it. I'm not wasting my weight.
Come on.
Don't waste the weight.
Come on.
You'll find out about that in a later episode. But hey, I love y'all. We'll talk to y'all later. Thank you.
Peace.